Kirkwood. Welcome to the Ashley Nicole Show. So I am doing this pop-up live and I just had to get this off my chest. Okay, so I am coming on here live and we're going to be talking about why little businesses need not apply. Specifically, I'm going to be sharing with you all my philosophy for working with business and selecting clients and the people that we enjoy working with. So if you are someone who is building $1 billion brand, whether the world knows it or not, you need to lean in. If you're someone who owns a business, you need to lean in. If you're someone who is considering building and growing and scaling your business, you need to lean in, okay? Because we're going to be talking about the structural differences between little businesses and $1 billion brands. And here's the thing, and hopefully the technology resources work out for us to have this conversation. Here's the thing. I got checked by a friend of mine recently, and essentially what she said was that I have not been showing up for you all on the legal side and telling you the things that I know from being someone who represented $1 billion brands in federal courthouses across the country. So because some of you are new to me, I'm going to introduce myself. For those of you who know me, I'm going to reintroduce myself so you know exactly who I am and the position and the experience from which I'm going to be talking today, because this is going to be some real talk, not sensitive talk. So if you're sensitive, you gotta log off, but this is going to be some real talk. I represented $1 billion companies when I was a corporate attorney. And I've said that before, but I don't know if you all know exactly what that means. First off, educational background. I went to the University of Illinois, studied international business. I studied business in Jordan, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic. And then while in law school, I created a course, like I was the instructional designer for a course at Northwestern Law School, where we went and studied how women interact in the political and business sphere in Morocco. So that is like my educational background. Now, Northwestern is one of the top 10 schools in the country. I'm just saying. Some people say education don't matter, but it matters a little bit to me. So I went to Northwestern, and what that school allowed me to do, and the reason why I talk about the rank of the school isn't to say, oh, my school is so much better than all these other schools, but it's to say the way that certain schools, especially the elite schools, are structured, it is all about ideas. Okay, so it's all about ideas, and the people that they put you in front of are people who can pour into your life to help you to think like a visionary. So the first difference that we're going to discuss, just to set the stage and to set the platform between little businesses and big brands, is that their growth is based from visionary ideas. And one of the things that I see when clients come to me and they're not a good fit, typically because they're in that little business mode. And when you're in that little business grind, hustle mode, what you're trying to do is survive, which means you're not even able to get into a space where you can have the vision for your company that's needed to blow it up into $1 billion brand. Check this out. When I say little businesses need not apply, it's a mindset. It's not a revenue thing, because a lot of us consider small businesses or little businesses to be strictly based on revenue, but most of you don't even know the numerical value of a little business. So before we go any further, I got to set the stage and teach some things here. Number one, a small business is defined by the U.S. Small Business Association by a particular set of standards. And I think some of these standards may blow your mind. They're based on company size and company revenue. Now, if you're in the manufacturing and mining industry, a little business or a small business, right? A small business is defined as a business that does not have more than 500 employees. 500 employees, right? When you get into the services, the retail and service space, that is a business that averages $6 million in annual revenue. $6 million in annual revenue. That's not small. You know what I mean? For a lot of us, $6 million in annual revenue would not even be what we would consider to be a small business, but that is what it's defined as. 6 million in revenue. Now, when you get into the special trade contractors, you're looking at 12 million in revenue. Overall, a small business, as defined by the U.S. Small Business Association, should not make more than $25 million of revenue per year. A lot of times, because of the online space that we're in, we get very, very, very excited about, and if you're you own a business, just put owner in the comments. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can't do that. But if you're watching this live, then one of the things I want you to do, if you're an owner, just put owner in the comments, because we're going to teach some things to the owners on the live right now. Mindset shift number one, you are building a billion-dollar brand, whether the world knows it or not. Those are the types of businesses that I work with at Mobile General Counsel. So back to background. Y'all with me so far? Okay, back to background. Went to Northwestern Law, studied abroad in undergrad, studied business in a variety of countries. I was an international business major at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, then went on to Northwestern Law. I worked to get into Northwestern Law. So a lot of people, you all may or may not know this if you know my story, but I graduated undergrad with a 2.1 GPA, I did not get into a single law school the first time I applied. The second time I worked, got into one law school, but it wasn't ranked highly. What I noticed in looking at industry trends, because I've been doing this for a while, I look at the numbers, was that people who graduated from my first law school, their average salary coming out was $55,000, purely because of the rank of the school. However, if you could get into one of the top 14 law schools in the country, you could work at one of the largest firms in the country, your average salary skyrocketed to $180,000. That's the average, that was the average salary out of Northwestern Law. Now it's gone up because the market changes, the market goes up, they pay more now than when I was coming out of law school. So I went there. That's what I did with Northwestern. After going to Northwestern, I worked at a firm called Kirkland & Ellis LLP. That was my first full-time lawyer job. Now that firm has been depicted in various movies and TV shows that you all have heard of because they represent billion-dollar brands. In fact, they were the lead firm on the BP oil spill case. So there's been movies made about them for that. They've done all types of stuff, but they're a big firm. And more importantly, the thing that I loved the most about working at Kirkland had nothing to do with the money. It had nothing to do with the perks and the black cars and all of that, because I had all of that. It had nothing to do with that. The thing that I loved absolutely most about working at that firm, working at this billion-dollar firm, one of the top grossing firms in the world, was that everyone in that firm carried themselves with a certain air and a certain confidence. And that confidence extended not just to their own capabilities, but it extended to the way they communicated with their clients. They spoke up to their clients. They did not speak down to their clients. And so when I say, and the reason the title of this episode is Little Businesses Need Not Apply, is because the way that I have to speak to my clients to operate in the level of excellence that I've been trained to operate in is not on a little level. So if you are trying to build a here today, gone tomorrow business, I'm not your lawyer. If you are trying to build a little rickety rackety business, it's like a chair with 3 legs, not 4, I am not your lawyer. Why? Because the way that I was trained was that you have to speak to your clients in a way that takes them up and in a way that allows them to understand exactly what they need to do to grow at all times. Okay. Now, here's the thing. And this is something that my dad taught me because he was in the music industry for a while and worked with lawyers for a very long time. Is he's like, look, a great lawyer makes you money. Well, how is that? Because every other lawyer that you may see on these internet streets isn't talking about making their clients money. They're not talking about how they made their clients an extra $50,000 to $100,000 based on a contract negotiation. But I have, you know what I mean? I've done that, been there, done that, continue to do it for my clients. A lot of you think you may not need a lawyer because you're thinking of a lawyer as like this thing you have to do to keep your business protected, but it's like taxes. Like I got to file them, but I don't really want to. Absolutely not. There is a reason why lawyers are called counselors, okay? There's a reason why lawyers are called counselors because a great lawyer gives great counsel. Now, a Christian lawyer like me also gives wise counsel. So I will give my clients insight into things, not just on the legal side, but on the business side that tells them, okay, no. I know I'm here to negotiate this contract, but before we even go into those negotiations, we have to make sure we got to make sure that pricing is right. Absolutely not. You think you want to trademark that, but where is the revenue coming from in your business? That's where you need to start. And as you think about scaling and growing and developing products, you need consistent counsel. So let's talk about the difference between billion-dollar brands, big brands, and little businesses. Here's the first one. Big brands promote all the time and they're launching often. So a big brand, when you think about like a Macy's or a Target or an Amazon or an Apple, they have a very robust promotion schedule and they know when they're launching new things. Let's think about Apple in particular. Every single time they launch a new iPhone, they know when it's going to happen. They probably know the iPhones are going to launch for the next 10 years. Why? They're planning ahead. More importantly, they're planning to stay in the market and they're planning to dominate the market long term. Little businesses, they promote infrequently. They're not planning ahead because, again, they're in survivor mode. Now, here's the trick. If you're a business owner and you feel like you're in survivor mode, you're like, Ashley, I hear what you're saying, but I'm in survivor mode. I don't really know how to thrive just yet because I don't have enough money to thrive. I'm just trying to make enough money to survive. Then here's what you need to do. It's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, right? It may be difficult for you. And my coach was telling me, don't say stumbling block, say springboard. So this is a springboard for you, right? Not a stumbling block. But one of the things that I will say is this: you have to put your mind in a place that your bank account isn't to survive this thing. Okay? And somebody drop that for me in the comments. You need to put your mind in a place where your bank account isn't. What do I mean by that? The way that you're going to grow your business is not by just making more money. That's not going to automatically grow your business. You're going to grow your business by putting your mind in a place that your bank account is not, which means, yes, your bank account may say $50,000, but your mind is in the place of your business doing $50 billion, $50 million. You can't only operate at the level of your current bank account and think that you're going to be able to grow your business. Why? Because everything begins with a thought. Let me prove it to you. Before you started your business, what did you do? You thought about it. Before you built the website, what did you do? You thought about the fact that you wanted a new website. And so a lot of us aren't moving forward, not because of what we're doing. It's because we haven't even, your thoughts ain't right yet. You know what I mean? I teach this, I have this signature speech called The Currency of Confidence. And it's all about the mindset, beliefs, and actions of successful people. The mindset has to be right before the beliefs will be cemented in a way that will move you to action. So you need all three pieces of that. You need all three pieces of that: your mindset, your beliefs, and your actions. So the first difference, big businesses are promoting all the time. Little businesses are promoting infrequently. What does that mean for you on the legal side of things? Large businesses are not just promoting in a silo, they're building out their promotions with their lawyers in mind. What does that mean? Most large companies, right? When I worked at Kirkland & Ellis, this is how our big businesses roll. So I'm gonna give y'all some behind the scenes here. If our client was launching a new program, they would talk to their advertising team, talk to their marketing team, and they would call their outside counsel because they want to make sure that their promotions are compliant in a couple of different fronts. You want to make sure that name that you're about to promote under isn't already being used. You want to make sure that the way in which you're promoting is legal and compliant. You want to make sure that the clients that you're serving, you're able to serve, meaning, look, when you're in the online space, you're not just accountable to the laws that you have to abide by in the US. You may be accountable to the laws of the European Union and some other places too. So you don't just go out and promote stuff. And right now we're in Q4. So if you have not booked your legal audit with me, you absolutely need to do that. You can do that at bit.ly/MGC Talk. MGC and the T are all capital. ALK is lowercase. It is case sensitive. If you're on Instagram, just click the link in the bio. If you're on Facebook, click the link here or shoot me a DM for more info. If you're listening to this, then just go to mobilegeneralcounsel.com. From there, you can click on legal services and book your legal audit. But we're in Q4. So you should be planning your promotions for next year, right? And there will be things that come up throughout that. You want to plan those promotions with wise legal counsel because you want to make sure that you can use that name, that you can use that slogan, that using those brand colors doesn't infringe, that you are promoting it in a way that is ethical, that if you need disclaimers, you have them properly represented, that your terms and conditions are correct. There are things you need to do. What happens if you don't do them? You could get sued. Now, here's the other thing. Big brands plan to be sued. They know it's going to happen. They have a budget for it. They've already planned it. They already have it. They already have it planned out. Now you are thinking, and this is where I want you all to put your mind in a place that maybe your bank account isn't yet. A lot of the companies that we've helped in the past came to us after they were already facing a lawsuit or a cease and desist or any of that. Okay. Better than not coming at all, but still problematic. Right? And it's problematic because if we would have gotten to them beforehand, they would have been able to save money. And that would have helped them overall. That would have helped them overall. So we want to make sure that you are getting in a place where you're not wasting resources that you don't necessarily have at the moment. So if we can save you from wasting those resources, then we're going to do that. Then we're absolutely going to do that. So we want to think through that too. The other thing, you want to think through not just having a lawyer, but having a legal team. This is another really big difference between big brands and little businesses. Big brands aren't thinking like, oh my God, I got to hire this one lawyer. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's so expensive. No, they're figuring out, okay, who are the experts? What is the expert legal counsel that I need on my team? And as an individual, and even as a small business, you have to think the same way. Here's how that looks for me. I have an estate planner, right? I have an accountant who's also a lawyer who can handle the IRS if they come knocking, right? I have different lawyers for different things. We have to get out of hiring one person for everything and thinking everything is their expertise. Now check this. A lot of my clients who hire me as their consistent counsel, they're paying four or five figures per month for legal services with our firm. We handle their whole legal portfolio. Sometimes what we do is they'll have a problem and it's beyond the scope of our representation. So we'll say, okay, right, what you need is a patent attorney. And so here's what we're going to do. I hire the patent attorney for them, and I manage the patent attorney for them. Why? Because I'm a lawyer. I know how to manage other lawyers. They don't know how to manage other lawyers, and they don't even know how to hire the best patent attorney for their particular company portfolio. So who does that? I do. That's called general counsel. Now, you all have to get out of thinking, oh, well, I need this one lawyer for this one thing, and I don't even want to pay for this one lawyer. No. Mind, bank account, divorce those, right? You want to be planning for your legal team. Why do you need a legal team? Oh, because you're going to need tax strategies. You're going to need tax counsel. You're going to need a legal team because eventually you're going to sell that $1 billion business that you're building. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a general counsel, which is me. You want to make sure you have a general counsel that understands your entire business portfolio, who can then manage your legal team, which your general counsel will hire. The reason our firm is called Mobile General Counsel, before our time even, right? When we first started, we were called Mobile General Counsel. That's always been my name. It's trademarked. That's mine. We're called Mobile General Counsel because the number one difference that I saw between billion-dollar brands and small businesses was that billion-dollar brands understood the necessity of general legal counsel. That's a lawyer who has a great business sense, an excellent legal acumen, and they can properly advise you throughout your business legal journey, which is long because you're building a billion-dollar brand, a big brand. You're not building a here today, gone tomorrow business. Okay. And so that's the other thing. They have general counsel. So you all want to think through, even before you feel it's your time to get these things. Here's what you can do now. One, work on your mindset. That's something every single business who's listening to this show can do absolutely right now today, right? I didn't even put on makeup to do this live. I was like, let me just tell the people what they got to do. Here's the second thing you can do now. Stop trying to Google your legal work and stop asking Facebook groups. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. Stop asking, like literally, I've seen people ask Facebook groups, hey, do you all have a lawyer? And I get it. I get why you do it because you want someone to recommend it, and it's fine. But don't ask Facebook groups for legal advice. If you want to ask for recommendations for lawyers, fine. But don't ask for legal advice. Here's why. How would they necessarily, one, if they're not a lawyer, they shouldn't be giving you legal advice. But two, you want to make sure you're getting the best person for your business. Look at where they go to school. What have they done in their career? Where have they worked? Who have they advised? The benefit of having a lawyer like myself who's represented both billion-dollar brands and emerging businesses, not little businesses, emerging businesses or small businesses, whichever, is that I have seen how billion-dollar, like CEOs of billion-dollar companies interact with their attorneys, and I've seen how their attorneys interact with them, and I've seen growth strategies on both sides, right? So I don't work with people who come to me and they're like, well, first off, if the first question you ask me is like, hey, I need to know right now, if you charge, what is LegalZoom or something like, are you going to be like LegalZoom? Absolutely not. I'm not going to be like LegalZoom. I'm not, right? Like we don't play in the same field. So the reality is you have to ask yourself, am I building a business that's worth protecting for real? And am I someone who wants to have consistent legal counsel? Do I want to have consistent legal counsel, someone that I can call? And here's the truth. A lot of you need to make a high level investment in legal right now. Our subscription services start at $5,000 a month. Now, we do one-off services, but our subscription starts at $5,000 a month at Mobile General Counsel. And the reason for that is, and that's a steal, in fact, and the reason for that is a lot of people don't need to just hire a lawyer to do one thing. You need a lot of different legal things done. And we're going to need to work together for at least 6 months. And that means that we're going to have to get your entire business foundation in order, because for the first year of your business or the first quarter of your business, you've neglected it. And you didn't neglect it because you didn't believe in your vision. You neglected it because you didn't know the value of it. But I want you to think about and name $1 billion company that doesn't have at least one attorney. You will not find one. You will not find one. And so what you have to ask yourself when you're looking in the mirror, when you're building out these businesses is, am I building a corporation or an entity that will survive me? Or am I just building something for me to play with in my lifetime? That's a little business. Something you just gonna play with in your lifetime. You're not building it for it to last. You're not building it for it to change billions of lives. That's a problem for me. I'm just not your lawyer. You can go find, like, you can Google and be like, who is the cheapest lawyer I can hire to do this one thing? I ain't never gonna talk to her again. I don't care if she has business sense or not. I don't care about her qualifications or not. I'm not interested in any of that. I just need the cheapest lawyer. If that is your story, I am not your lawyer. But if not, if you are someone who's like, this makes a lot of sense. I am building a $1 billion brand, whether the world knows it or not. And I want you all to listen to that. I want you all to affirm that. If you're watching this and you're like, that's me. I'm building a $1 billion brand, whether the world knows it or not. Just put that in the comments. Put that in the comments, whether the world knows it or not. That is your affirmation, because sometimes we get caught up in how many clients we have now, how many people we're serving now, how much money we're making now, when in reality, what your driving force has to be the vision, so that you don't get caught up in like temporary lapses, right? That temporary stuff, this rough period you're going through, this tough time you're going through right now, that's going to pass. You're going to get over that, because people with vision get over these things. Pandemics, people get over these things. People in the business sense. If you're surviving this, you survive this pandemic, you will be able to thrive, whether it be in this or after this. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, because there are some people who think, oh, my business is so little, it's so small, why would I have a lawyer already? Like, I'm not even doing this, I'm not even doing that. Now, we do work with revenue generating businesses. So if you have clients, you've made money from your products or your services, you need to protect them. And I'll tell you guys this, and I talked about this on another training on the Mobile General Counsel Facebook page. So check that page for the full training. But there was a Supreme Court case that came out that actually gave people leeway to attack the profits of businesses. If you were to copy someone else's business, either innocuously or on purpose, they could potentially come after those profits. And so because of that, it's even more imperative now that you protect your business with competent legal counsel. And I'll just tell you too, if you're sitting here and yes, thank you so much. I see you affirming it in the comments. Love that. If you are sitting here like, I'm about to download this little contract template, that's going to be my best bet, that's what I'm going to do, I don't recommend that. I just don't. If you know for a fact you're doing work that matters, that changes lives, that shifts perspectives, why would you not protect it and solidify that in a well-written, drafted contract that's drafted specifically for your business, a template that's drafted specifically for your business? You want to be very, very, very careful about discounting your success and what that looks like. It doesn't always look like discounting your success does not always mean you charge low prices. It could mean you pay low wages for stuff that matters most. That could be you discounting your prices. That could be you discounting your success. Charging low wage, paying low wages for things matter. That could be you discounting your success. You're holding yourself back by not just hiring the best in the game for it. And they're the best in the game. You need to hire Mobile General Counsel. You need a lawyer on your team. That could be you discounting your success. And think about what that says to the universe. So you're out here getting a $200 contract template, and you plan for the program to make $2 million. How that sound? How does that sound? How does that sound to you? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense to me. So you want to make sure that you're not discounting your success by the way in which you choose to invest in your business. We work with companies all the time. One of our revenue streams in Mobile General Counsel is advising companies on the way they communicate and their equitable policies and the currency. Like we have all these programs. We have 2 programs we do for companies. And one of the things I always ask decision makers, because I talk to the C-suite, is how much money are you investing in equity? Okay, we spend about $20,000 a year. And what percentage of your budget does that make up? Oh, well, it makes about like less than 1%. And you wonder why your company is not equitable. You wonder why your diverse employees feel disenfranchised. You're not investing in it. So there's that. What you're telling them is they're not worth the investment. So even if you believe in your business, you think you believe in your business, you want to look at how are you working to protect it? Things that you love, you protect. My house, we have home security because we love the house, right? Like we love the people within the house, right? It's not even about the house, right? I love my daughter, I love my husband, so we pay to protect it. Our car, best security system. It's a brand new car. We want to pay to protect it. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out your legal strategy should protect your business, but it also helps with the profits in the business. If you have a good lawyer, right? If you don't, then you don't. And one of the telltale signs to me is when I always hear about people signing bad contracts, I'm just like, where was the lawyer? And they're like, oh, well, lawyers. And I hear this from my colleagues, like, well, lawyers, we don't do that. We write the contract they want us to write. We ask them what should be in it. I'm like, no, that's not what we do. That may be that ain't what I do. Like if someone comes to me for contract drafting, yes, I'm going to draft the contract, but it is my expertise that they're coming for. So I am going to opine on areas of the contract when I see weaknesses there. Okay. And so you want to be really, really, really careful about placing your business in the hands of people that lack vision, whether that be your lawyer, your accountant, or your coach. If they lack vision, they should not be able to touch your business. And think about how they talk about their own business. Do they have vision for their own business? Are they talking big about their own business or not? Are they operating in scarcity with their own business? If so, why would you let them touch yours? Okay. All right, I gotta go. Hopefully this was helpful. This is the Ashley Nicole Show. I'll be giving you guys more content like this. If it was helpful, drop helpful in the comments. If you have a comment or something that you'd like to say, or you have a question, feel free to drop it here. If you need a legal audit, you can go to mobilegeneralcounsel.com, shoot me a DM or click the link in bio if you're listening on Instagram. If you're watching on Facebook, the link should also be here. All right, and I will talk to you guys later.